Hello, Judge.
Hi, are you all ready to proceed on the motions or no?
Yes, Judge. Motion to set bonds?
All right, so you're not ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1237 and 2024 CR 1238, State versus Eric Kentu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Harris Edelman.
Defense?
Christopher Ramos for the respondent.
And are you Eric Cantu?
Yes.
All right, defense has filed motion to have bond set in each of these cause numbers. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a proposed agreement or no?
I think there's a recommendation, Judge. We're going to ask for less. We'd like permission to put on some testimony regarding his financial circumstance.
All right, and state, what are you requesting?
30,000 in each case, Your Honor.
All right, and defense, what are you requesting?
We were requesting 10,000 on both, Judge.
All right, now I know where we are.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you can call your witness.
Yes, with the court's permission, state would like to call Eric Cantu Sr.
All right, Eric Cantu Senior. Yes. Okay. Could you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Eric Kentu.
Eric
Eric Kentu.
Senior, junior, because I have Eric Cantu here.
It's technically not senior or junior.
Oh.
He's spelled with a K, I'm spelled with a C.
Ah, okay. All right, thank you. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cantu, for the benefit of the record, can you tell us how you know the defendant?
That is my son.
And was he placed on probation on September 9th, 2024?
Yes, he was.
And while on probation for the last 49, 50 days, has he been living with you? And is he working?
No, sir.
And for the benefit of the record, was your son shot by SAPD, an SAPD officer several months ago or a couple of years ago?
A couple of years.
And as a result of the shooting, has he had an opportunity or physically capability to work?
Is the answer is no to that.
Okay. And as a result of him being unable to work from these injuries, have you and your son taken steps to apply for SSI or any sort of governmental benefits?
We have been on the SSI list for quite some time. He's almost there as completion. So yes, we are on that list.
So he's on the verge of being approved for SSI benefits?
Correct.
And once he's received SSI benefits, he will start receiving some sort of income.
Some sort of.
And for the benefit of the record, can you describe some of the medical injuries or conditions your son suffers from as a result of the shooting that prevent him from working? If we can just narrow it on the largest physical ailments that he has.
PTSD, severe anxiety, paranoia, and of course, his physical attributes are lack of long-term physical abilities. Can't breathe that well. And of course, he still has a lot of injuries that are sustained throughout his body.
Now, specifically, his lungs were injured as a result of the shooting, correct?
Correct. And then he had a severe infection. They had to cut him open twice to go in and scrape his lungs, which is a very delicate part of the body.
Now, specifically regarding his lungs, as a result of the injuries to his lungs, it's difficult for him to engage in physical activity as a result of these injuries.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you understand we're asking the judge for a bond,
Yes, sir, I do.
and does your son have any sort of financial means to meet this bond?
No, he doesn't.
Are you in a position to contribute a little bit to this bond amount?
I can help him.
And how much of a bond do you think you or your family members and loved ones can come up to help him meet this bond?
I mean, based on the percentage you described for bond, we're hoping to get, 10,000 between the two.
Now, in this circumstance, if he is released on bond, do you foresee him having any reason other than medical appointments to leave the residence?
He will stay at home.
Do you think you could benefit from a GPS monitor to assure the court that he's going to remain at home?
We benefited from it before. We needed it, and we'll follow that.
All right. Mr. Cantu, this prosecutor may have some questions for you, but I'm going to pass you as a witness.
Mr. Kentu, you said that your son lives with you. How long has he lived with you?
Probably since 2008.
So for the
No, since he was
past,
8 years old, I'm sorry.
since he was 8 years old.
Correct.
So for the past 3 months, he's lived with you continuously?
Correct.
And do you happen to have a black four-door sedan at your home?
Correct.
Does Mr. Cantu use that vehicle?
I'm sorry, what was the answer?
He's not allowed to use that vehicle.
Pardon me, Mr. Cantu. I didn't ask if he's allowed to use the vehicle. I asked if he does use the vehicle. Does he?
He has used the vehicle in the past. Yes, sir.
Has he used the vehicle since September?
No.
Did you happen to have a meeting with Mr. Cantu's supervision officer on October 17th of 2024?
The supervision officer.
Or a field officer?
For the benefit of the record, Judge, I'd like to object. It does seem to go outside the scope of the hearing in terms of assessing his bond amount.
All right, that objection will be overruled.
So I don't need anybody.
Would it surprise you to know that Mr. Cantu's supervision officer reported that a field officer made contact with his father, which apparently is you, on that date,
on October,
October 17th of this year?
and this would be a police officer that I've met.
A supervision officer, someone from the Bear County Supervision Department.
Sir, I haven't met with him.
And so no one told you that Mr. Cantu needed to contact his supervision officer as far as you're aware?
Sir.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
All right, any further questions?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you for coming in.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any other questions?
No, Judge.
All right.
Just
yeah,
argument
yeah.
whenever.
The court will hear argument. It's your motion, you may proceed.
Yes, Judge. As the court has probably reviewed the MTR, one of the allegations includes that
I have not reviewed the MTR, but
Okay.
okay.
one of the allegations in the MTR, and I think it puts in the context what the prosecutor was asking, is that Eric was seen driving, and the circumstance or the context is apparently he went to report to the allegations that he went to report to the probation office. When he left the probation office, another probation officer followed him and observed him driving off in the car, and then that's the allegation in a vehicle. So that is the context in which the MTR that we're looking at right now. So I'm asking the court to be mindful of a few things in assessing the bond. One, his lack of ability to work, his lack of financial resources. He's on the verge of receiving SSI, but that has not been approved yet. So we're asking the court to be mindful that he does have ongoing medical appointments, significant injuries from the result of the shooting, and we're asking the court to be mindful that that he's having to deal with all of these circumstances. So we're asking the court if the court can keep that in mind as it assesses the bond. We're asking for a bond. I mentioned $10,000 on each case, but it sounds like the family may not be able to afford that. So we're asking for whatever the court can extend in that circumstance. We're set for an MTR on September 10th, and we'd like to, at that point, make our proposal to the court at that time.
All right, state.
One point of clarification. Did I hear correctly that you said September 10th or December 10th?
December 10th, excuse me.
I just wanted to be sure. Your Honor, considering the relative rapidity with which Mr. Cantu is alleged to have violated the conditions of his supervision relative to when he was placed on that supervision, it does not seem that Mr. Cantu is very good at, shall we say, following rules. And considering that the bond amount on each of his previous cases was 15,000, it begs credulity to think that a bond amount less than his original amount would be appropriate given these considerations.
And Judge, if I can just respond to that very
No,
quickly.
you have a right to respond. It's your bond.
So I ask court to be mindful that the prosecutor is correct. 49 days has gone by between the day he was placed on probation to the day that the MTR was issued. 49 days. I offer the court to be mindful that he's 19 years old. He's experienced significant traumatic events. This allegation stems from him trying to go to the probation office to do the right thing and maintain his supervision with the probation officer. He was trying to do the wrong thing. I think that some of the trauma that he experienced kind of contributed to make him taking the wrong steps in doing that. I ask the court to be mindful that prior to the shooting, he has no criminal history, not even juvenile history. So yes, there is some truth to what the prosecutor is saying, but I think if you put it in a larger context, it can be explained as to the young man his first time on probation, trying to get this right, doing the best that he can, reporting to probation. He just went about it the wrong way. And we're asking the court to consider all of that as it sets its bond amount, Judge.
All right. In each cause number, the court will set your bond at $30,000. The court will order full GPS and the court will waive the fees for GPS. And this will come back on December 10th for a contested hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.